My name is Edward Brown, and many years ago, I don't remember what year it was, but we had, during the CCID project, we built this new road that you see is coming down here. The old road used to go down back around the bottom there. And just me, myself, and another guy by the name of Valentine, we poured this whole concrete. We poured all this by hand. We mixed that by hand, and we done it in sections. It's what you do is you can see it's a section here across here, and then another one back over in there. We'd pour that. We'd pour the concrete. And then we'd let that set, and then when that set, right then we'd use this piece that was already dried up to mix the other concrete on, and then we'd shift the concrete onto another section. Took us quite a while, but then we was able to pour this whole thing all by hand. And then after it was done, by then somebody else did the rock work. We didn't do the rock work, but somebody else did the rock work. And it was, I don't know how long it took us, but then we made it. And it gets real hot down here in summer. I'm telling you, you don't get much wind in here. And that's about it. And and this whole section was new. The section was all built by hand. And when we was working up on the other side there, I was the demolition expert. So to speak, I did all the blasting, I mean the dynamite part. And then most was all done by hand. There was a team of horses and a scraper that did some of the work, but most of it was done by hand from here on up to where it meets the old road. That's about it. There's a little spring up on the hill on it. And then when we used to come in the horse and buggy days, we used to stop there and get a drink of water. Then we called it frog mouth, Hantaka. In Indian it's called Hantaka. And we used to stop there and get a cold drink of water. There was always water there but I know it's kind of green in there now when we came down. So.
Why'd you call it frog's mouth?
And that was, we couldn't, when in the horse and buggy days, it took us quite a while to get up this grade to the top.
Did it look like a frog's mouth?
I don't know why they called it that. Well, it probably did at one time. Probably did at one time.
How about the old road over there?
There's nothing much to the old road except that they sort of be shorter to come down this way rather than to rebuild the other road that came by the way.
How thick is the concrete?
Huh?
How thick is it?
I don't remember. It must be, it's over, I think it varies according to the way it is, how it was poured into the thing there. Sometimes 4 to 6 inches, I think, in spots. You can see it's where it's starting to break, where it's thin.
How'd you pour it with the water running?
Huh?
How'd you pour it with the water running?
The water.
Like a dam?
The water was I think the water was left to the last one. I mean, there was like a ditch that went through there. There wasn't much water. That's what we used to mix the concrete with. Okay. Oh, now we are down on the It was the first house into this area when we come in. There used to be a house over here. A person by the name of Lorenzo lived there, him and his family, back up in there. And then we let go back a little bit from our last scene of where we made the dip, that concrete I was talking about. We never had any kind of a transportation to come to work with, so we had to walk from about where the new gym that's being under construction there. We had to walk from there down to where I showed you where the dip was. We had to walk there every day, back and forth. And then there was another family lived right behind us, 180 degrees back. It was, we called him Kapsir, and he lived back down that way. And then when they used to have the fiestas, when they had the Indian fiestas down there, they used to line up about in this area in here to wait for the committee to come out there and lead them in a parade-like fashion into the fiesta grounds. And so that's where they waited, in here, in this area in here. And that would be people from Campo. Los Conejos invited people from Campo to their fiesta, and then Campo would also, the same year, invite them to go over there. This was an annual affair. They did this every year. But then you couldn't go in by yourself. You had to wait here to be escorted in. So that's the story for that. I mean,
Dad, what kind of houses were built? Were they out of rock, out of wood?
I don't know. I don't think they're rocks, because they would still be there yet. I think it was wood. That's.
Do you remember? Was it dirt floors? Did they have windows?
You would never have no floor. All houses were dirt floors. We never had no wooden floors. We didn't know what wooden floor was.
How about windows? Did you have windows?
It had windows, I think. It had windows. But in those days, everything was dirt. But that was a way of life, so it didn't make much difference. We didn't know no better than me.
When the Campo group came, did they come with their horses and buggies?
Horse and buggies. There was no cars.
And did they? I know you said in some of the fiestas they marched in with a fiddler.
Oh yeah, this guy had a fiddler. A guy named Sylvester was a fiddler. He'd play the violin. It was a big event. It was the wagon that they rode in. The committee that rode in was all decorated with flags and stuff around, some kind of bunting-like type thing.
That was the committee from Los Conejos?
Yes, that was.
And the fiddler, was he from Conejos or was he from Campo?
No, he was from Conejos.
Did they call him Eli Hunt? The fiddler. Did they call him Eli Hunt?
No, I don't know what they called him.
Okay.
Did you feed the people once they came and took care of their horses? What'd you do? How long was the fiesta?
We'd make that another session.
Okay.
Okay. Dad, who lived with Callisto back there? Callisto Chapa, the name of his family?
Oh, when we was coming into the area, when we came back there, you're probably seeing the lone tree that's standing way up, the eucalyptus tree. That's a family lived there, Antone, and his family lived there. And the only way they could get water there was they had to go clear down to that creek, the same creek where we were taping before. They had to get water from there up to the top, and then on to the little bit further to the left of that was another. A man lived there by the name of
Callisto.
No.
Another guy?
Evelino lived there. And there was, so that's the hard part about that thing was water. That's a long ways down there, but that's the only way they could get water. You know.
What were the names of his sons? Avelino, did he have two sons?
Two what?
Two sons.
Sons? I know he lived alone as far as I know.
How about Callisto? Did he have two sons?
No, Callisto was, no, he never had any kids.
Oh, Callisto, who was Callisto's dad?
Antone.
Oh, I get it, Antone.
Antone.
And Antone had, Callisto was his son.
Yeah, Callisto and Dan.
And Dan were his sons. Did he have any daughters?
One daughter.
What was her name?
Margaret.
Margaret.
Yeah.
What was his wife's name?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, that's it, I think. We're standing here now on the area where the second fiesta grounds. This is where the last fiestas they had was in this area. There was when the Ramadas ran down that way for the north side, and then the west side crossed that way, and then on the south side it came almost into this creek where you see this big oak tree back there that ran that way. Then the east one ran across this way. And when they were, and the old fiesta grounds was back that way, and across, see where that tree is over there, that old, that tree back there. That tree that's right over there, over the pickup, straight ahead, kind of dried up tree. There's a road that used to go right by that one. It goes down across the creek, and on the other side of the creek, there's that's where the old fiesta ground was. And they had to move that because every winter the road would wash out. So they decided to bring it over here, where we're at now. And there's a family lived right straight across that way, and he was, his name was Herman Osuna, and he farmed all that area back up in there. Most of all this open field that you see here was at farming at one time. They grew wheat, and when they were excavating this area, when they were cleaning up, and this was all covered up. You couldn't see this before. It was all just flat like here. And they were digging, and they found a rock, and then they kept on digging, and that's what they found, is that part in there. So that's it's been there ever since. I mean, they haven't covered back up. And then straight back up, right back up here was another family that lived up there. I can't remember his name. But, and then below that, down that way, there was a guy by the name of Gabriel. He lived down there. And that's about it for this area in here. That's,
Rita, Aunt Rita.
Yeah. That was Rita's grandparents, I think. I think that's who lived back up in here. Then there's other families we'll catch on the other side of the creek when we go over there.
Dad, when they had the fiesta, where'd they keep the horses and stuff at?
The horses and stuff they were just turned loose. They were turned loose. And in those days when you went to the fiestas, when you were horse and buggies, when you got there, the people that was hosting the reservation would take care of your horses. Just as soon as you stopped, why then they'd unharness the horses and then take them and pasture them. And then until the day you was ready to leave, which would be a week later, then they would round up all the horses, and then there would be quite a big roundup. And some of those kind of got wild all of a sudden, like, you know. And then they would harness all those things up and then send you on your way. When you didn't leave in the bunch, that's not like coming in and being escorted. You just left whenever you wanted. So, and that was some people say those were the good old days. I mean, 2 horsepower. I think that's about it for this part.
Dad, do you remember anything about those rocks that were uncovered?
Well, no. No. They uncovered.